Welcome back to another Backpage Gaming video. Today we are going to go for our final thoughts on FIFA 20. I'm Jack.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Robbie.
So, as the biggest tryhard this year, I've played the most. Actually, I haven't played the most. Sam's played the most.
Yeah.
I've played the best. We've got, as you can see from the gameplay that is playing out behind this, or on screen, I should say. It's just some friendlies between me and Sam because I didn't really feel like playing rivals or anything. We're going to go through 4 main topics. I'll put timestamps in the description so you can just skip to it if you want to.
Ooh.
I know, very posh.
You can do that on the video now as well.
I know, that's what I want to do.
That's clever.
So anyway, our first topic is gameplay.
You said it
on
was
this
strange.
great game. It's gameplay. So, my first criticism of this game, not my last, is that this year drop back has been stronger than ever. It's very difficult to counter, just because of the way that FIFA is. You can't really do these really short, intricate passing moves, and you can't trigger runs like you can on FIFA 21. So perhaps FIFA 21 could be better in that regard. Long shots were nerfed massively. Think about how often you score from outside the box. Not as often at all.
No.
What's your boys' thoughts on drop back this year?
It makes the entire game boring, doesn't it? It made, because it was so overpowered, it literally every game you played was exactly the same, and not good. Like every game was boring and bad, and that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's just repetitiveness gets, especially when you're playing 30 games weekend league, it just gets tedious.
It's funny that you say repetitive because my next point was that you score the same goals every week as well.
Yeah.
It's, unless you're in a really, it's funny.
Nothing really stands out, does it?
Unless you're in a really difficult game, they're all pretty much the same. Like your first 10 games is usually usually vaguely easy. So it's like your weekend leagues merge into one, and they don't feel like a big W. Like when you do get a big win, you're like, nice, but then you've got another 5 games of just boringness. Forever. I'd say for 30 games, you'd want 30 exciting games, or at least 20, 25 exciting games. But in reality, you probably only get about 5 or 6. When you're at the end of your run and you've got your hardest games, I'd probably say that's when you get really tense gameplay. A lot's on the line. It matters a lot, and I just don't think you get that enough in this year. I think it's a very boring meta.
Yeah, 100%.
All the balls just kept in midfield and just waiting for somebody to make a mistake, and it's just, I don't want to play FIFA like that. I want to just try and score as many goals as possible. I'd rather lose 6-5 in good gameplay and having fun than win 1-0 in this year's gameplay.
It's that it's felt more scripted than there ever has been before, I think, as well. And I don't care. I know they say there's no script and there's no momentum, there's no kickoff, there's no nothing.
Lies.
But it's a huge lie. I agree with Sam. He is our resident tinfoil hat member.
Yep.
But the servers have been terrible this year. There's been so many weeks where there's been terrible input delay. And when you think about how much money Ultimate Team generates for the company, it is just shocking. And they say, it's not just as simple as putting in servers. But if you've actually played Champs since they put a server in London, I think it was about a month ago, it has been pretty consistent gameplay every single week. Yeah. So it just proves that what they say is just complete fabrications.
Yep, agreed.
And moving on from that greatness, we're talking about power creep. So if you don't know what power creep is, it's basically talking about the meta.
Sounds like my next door neighbour.
It's basically about the meta of the players that are in the game. So you think you've got your Halloween, is that the first from your Scream one? That's probably the first big promo that I can think of off the top of my head. And then Team of the Year just jumps the gun completely. You go way too high, I think, personally. Yeah. I think Team of the Year should come maybe a month later. Or there should be...
They should just...
It should ramp up slowly. I think Team of the Year is just...
I just think make Team of the Year cards not as good. Start everyone with lower stats so that you can have more of a progression through the year. Make things worth it.
Yeah. You have fucking... Aubameyang, I swear he had 390 rated cards, all different.
Yeah. I think the thing that they need to do is, before, it was Team of the Year, it was because it was an official Team of the Year that they just followed. Whereas now they just make up their own, and they just still happen. Yeah. They still have it in, December, January time.
Yeah, because they just want to release the cards they know that people are going to buy packs for.
Yeah. They're not dumb about it, are they? They know exactly what they're doing. For all the stuff that we can gripe about EA, they have got...
Oh, the business model's fantastic.
It's disgustingly good. Like, they must be laughing to the bank. Yeah. Absolutely laughing. But mainly, gameplay this year, main inconsistent. That's probably my biggest criticism. Because when the gameplay is really, really good, and I mean really good, this game's actually quite fun to play. It's just that it comes so few and far between.
I was about to say, you could count the amount of times you've had that type of gameplay on this game on one hand.
Yeah, you have to play really late at night, like UK time. You got to play on off days, and that's the thing with Champs, is that you can't play on an off day because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. You don't have the time.
Or if you're like me, where you've got no patience and you have to play on the Friday, you come up against all the sweats. And you've got the bad gameplay on top of it. You just end up losing games that you should do better in.
Yeah,
and it's just...
That's the big thing, is that I think it's dumb that you've got to become a good player in bad gameplay. I think you really have to learn, and that's where the difference between me and you has been this year, Sam. I think in good gameplay we're probably about level, really. I'd say.
Yeah, I think
edge it a bit.
Yeah, good gameplay. I think your skills,
I just don't care.
Your ability on skills would probably make you edge me a bit. But in bad
edging him.
What am I doing?
Bloody hell!
In bad gameplay, watershed. I don't know. My head goes as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, I'm not bad gameplay. I'm just used to. I just don't really mind playing bad gameplay.
The F word comes out for me, while the UF.
Wow, Sam, all right, you naughty
It's
boy.
Unfair. It's not fair. And I've turned to the whiniest.
I think we're all in agreement. Gameplay inconsistent. And bad.
Yeah.
To put it simply. So moving on to another hot topic is the content of this year, which I think has been pretty mixed in general.
Yeah.
Although there is one thing.
I might be a bit controversial here. I think in terms of content, as in like if you're talking about SBCs and stuff like that, I think that's the one thing that salvaged this game.
No.
I don't think so. I think if there'd been Icon SBCs...
too late.
Like, don't get me wrong.
The heat was good.
Things could have been done better. Like, I'm not saying it was perfect, but I don't think we'd have played the game as long as we have, Jack, this year, and put the grind in that we did without the content that they created. I think the content was enough to keep us playing one of the worst games I've ever played.
No, I thought it was pretty poor. Footmas was terrible this year. Footmas has been one of my favourite promos.
It's difficult to say because I think
this year.
One of the reasons why I've played the game so much is because I've had a lot of... This is probably the first year that I've had a lot of money. I've had good pack luck, and I've had... This has been... Like, for full transparency, this has been my best FIFA finish-wise by miles, by absolute country miles. Because I've got elite a lot of weeks, whereas before I'd pick it up maybe 4 or 5 times in a year, and that's it. I think content was a huge L for him because they dropped Icon SBCs, with the big promise that Icon Swaps was going to be...
Yeah, Icon Swaps was tragic.
The replacement.
I don't think it was bad.
The first... There wasn't enough of them. That's the thing. There was 3 Icon Swaps throughout the entire year. And I'd argue that there wasn't really any meta cards. Like,
Baby Crespo.
The
Return of the King.
It's mad. I'd honestly argue that my Rio Ferdinand I got was probably one of the most meta choices throughout the entire
Roberto
year.
Carlos, he was like my...
Roberto Carlos was good, but I think Jack's right. If you'd have had the patience...
stuck with me for a long time.
That Ferdinand at the time that it came out...
There needs to be more variability in it as well. Like, everyone just had the same ones.
Yeah. What they should have done, or what they should do, is have an icon swaps every month. There should be like 12 icon swaps. Make it easier. Make it easy for the easy icons. And you don't want to be grinding.
I just think scrap the icon swaps and bring back the icon SBCs.
Have a separate mode for objectives.
That's steady on. Later, stop. That's in my next bit. You're not allowed to talk about that yet. I think icon I don't think they're going to bring back Icon SBCs.
Nah,
I think they're too adamant.
Hashtag fix FIFA if they don't boycott it.
They're not going to bring it back next year. They'll bring it back the year after.
Yeah, because it'd be like admitting that they were wrong, wouldn't it?
Exactly, and they hate doing that. They're a company with an ego. Or
They'll
at least
do a trailer like
that's what the E in EA
Icon
Sports stands for.
SBCs.
Ego.
Yeah, and I think that was a huge L because you look at the teams now, and there's no icons. There's zero icons in teams, and it's because of power creep as well as because the summer heat cards have absolutely
ridiculous,
destroyed icons. I was looking at when I was spending a lot of my final bits of money on Neymar. I was looking at Hullet at the time as well, but I thought, why do I want this Hullet when this Vidal that I've got is probably just as good, if not better? And that shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a thought. I know Hullet's amazing, but I thought about it.
It's stupid.
And then that was just, like I say, huge L. And then one thing as well that they don't do enough of is when they do bring out good content, they don't bring it out enough. Like, during Team of the Year when they bring out the League SBC packs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got one. I've got something to say in a sec.
They're sick.
Yeah.
Like, they are really fun to do because you grind through a load of packs, you destroy your club, but you've had fun.
Yeah.
They need to be more things that the community can get around. You think, I know it's like a meme, but you look at Fortnite and the community comes together when there's like a cool event on.
Yeah.
I think on FIFA there's always, it's like a lonely game, I think.
100%,
yeah, it's you versus everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah, whenever you do talk to somebody from the community. I know next year they're doing that kind of like community objectives, but it's so late. Like it's just, they seem to be late to every single idea that they have, and I don't know whether that's just due to incompetence or getting it signed off from teams above them, and that I do imagine it's difficult.
It's probably more like they see other games like you say Fortnite doing stuff like that, and the advantage they've got is there's no competitor for FIFA. So what they can do is wait for other games to prove stuff works or doesn't work, and then put it in. So they don't have the trial period in their own game. They just wait to see what works for other people.
They could just do so much more. It is really frustrating to see a game that could be so much better. I think, in fact, I'll wait. I'll not judge it just yet. But like co-op foot, it looks to be quite fun. Don't get me wrong.
Why
but then
would
you
they
can't
not
play against
put
your
in
mates.
co-op friendlies? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
in the fucking trailer for it.
Yeah.
They show like 4 players. I can't remember who it is. It's like bloody Sterling and some other players. I can't remember who it is. 4 of them playing but they can't. You can't actually play against friends.
Yeah.
You're like, oh guys, let's all search at the same time and try and play against each other.
You joke,
fucking Sterling and Royce are sat there doing that.
Shotgunners, yeah. That's what they're gonna have to do. Like, it's just
give us what we all want.
It's just dumb, yeah.
Pro Clubs Ultimate Team.
Go.
Pro Clubs Ultimate Team. That's what we all want. That is what we want.
Settle down. Okay.
Another thing.
Go on. That was your.
Whose idea was it?
Yeah.
To make the premium upgrades only for the last day of each team of the season.
Yeah.
That was stupid. Last year they had them for the whole week.
The whole week, didn't they? Yeah.
It ruined it. Everyone said it. Like, no one had anything to do in the week during team of the season, which is mental. It's supposed to be the best week of FIFA.
That's what I mean. I think there was just too many times where, they'd garner this goodwill or whatever, and then they just squander it straight away.
Yeah.
And you're left wondering I've just hit my mind, but you're left wondering as to who does make the decisions there and who. Like, don't get me wrong, we don't spend much on the game, usually, like microtransactions wise, but if there was a better reason to spend money, I would spend money on it.
Yeah.
It's just that spending money now, you get nothing for your money. Whereas you think back to previous years, you are actually, like opening a 7.5k pack would actually be pretty good. You'd get some decent money from it. But now I think almost the beast has got too strong for him. The beast. But it's like they're not sure on what direction they should go in with packs and that, because they do give out a lot of packs. You think for rewards now, that they can't seem to balance it correctly between spending money on packs. Do they make packs that you spend money on have better pack weight, or something like that? Because I think then that wouldn't be fair to the free-to-play player, but it give incentive to spend money on it. It's a really difficult... I can sympathise to some extent, but then I think that they're making about 500 kajillion pounds a minute, so
I don't want to go
quickly lose it
too far into FIFA 21 because no doubt we'll do another video on that. But they're getting rid of fitness and all that, so that's not going to be in packs. But then they're like, oh, this is going to be in packs. We're going to put stadium stuff in there instead. Oh, brilliant! Yeah. Can't wait to get a bloody Tortoise stadium thing.
That stuff this year wound me up a bit. Like,
well, get ready for way more.
I'm a
Rick
huge
Astley, never going to give you up
nerd,
a stadium
right?
song.
You boys know my love of the Vikings, right? Even I don't want a Viking stadium. Why would I want a Viking stadium?
Sense. Well, yeah, I want some fucking clip art flames as my tifo.
Imagine.
Yeah, bro, it scares people.
The squads of 11 come out on Viking boats with flames next to them. Like, what's going to happen?
Dovagin.
You submit a player to an SBC, it's a Viking funeral.
It's just
just strange. Like, that's it. There's just a lot of strange decisions.
They need to do something else with the ranking system. It was bad. Yeah. Like, you get all the way to end and you get like a bloody rare Electrum players book or something.
This boy is
that on the list as well?
He's been reading the notes, I think. But moving on to some extent is that while there was actually a lot of content, in fairness to EA, there was a lot of player SBCs that were really good value. That was probably the only bit of content I think they absolutely nailed.
Only later in the year, though.
I'm about to say, especially
there was like Footmus. I'll tell you what, Footmus had some fucking bad ones. Like a 84 rated left wing from Belgium was like 200k. I can't remember his name, but like, who's doing that?
It's like we said a minute ago, didn't we, that any goodwill that they'd get, they'd immediately squander it. And you think there was a lot, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I remember there was a lot of ones that were good value, and then there'd be one that you think, oh, that could be a fun card, and it'd just be ridiculous, it'd be terrible. Yeah, just way too expensive.
Do you remember Acuna?
Yeah, Footmus Acuna, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Couldn't get him in the team though, could you? You'd have to use him off bench. It was really difficult to get him in. And then I found, after I think about a month, there was an update, and the guy was useless.
Oh, yeah. I think they do patch people.
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva was another one, update, killed him for you two. He was still a king for me.
No. It is bizarre choices that they make, and I don't really understand why they do it. But like I say, they just need to do more of the good things and less of the bad things. It's really not difficult, but they make it out to be this really difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because there was too many days as well where there was just nothing. You know, you'd go onto the game for something to do in the week. Just nothing big, nothing extreme. Just like a pack SBC. Just put a pack SBC in the store.
Yeah.
Or in the SBC section. If you're not going to bring out anything that's interesting, just bring that out. Just give something... Just to give a reason to go on at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think that's something that they lost a lot of this year, is that you'd go on at 6 o'clock, you'd see there's nothing, you'd go off straight away.
That's who it was, the 84 Belgian man. Luke Bacchio from
That's him. Hertha Berlin into it, yeah.
He was like 200k.
And it's just bizarre. And then, linking to nothing to do, we're talking about division rivals. So, I don't like division rivals. There's not a single
there's no redeeming value of it, is there?
Yeah, I hate it. The double rewards for playing champs is nice, and that's probably the only thing that I've got that's good to say about division rivals. I think it was a stupid decision to link
rewards,
not
reward,
the objectives.
Objectives, yeah.
Because in fairness, they brought out some cool objective cards, but
there has to be a separate mode.
But it either has to be separate, or if they want to do objective cards, they need to make it available to do
in champs or
just everything.
Yeah.
I think it has to be everything.
Apart from
it doesn't have to be
maybe.
Specific. Well, yeah, fair enough. But make it doable in squad battles as well, because just put it as to a certain difficulty.
Yeah.
Like if it's got to be rivals, champs, or squad battles on legendary or something. Like I think that's probably fair. If it's gonna be a difficult card, that's probably a fair compromise. But Rivals is a ladder-based system. You know, you've got your ranking points, you go up so much, and you want to be... There should be an incentive to be at the top.
There isn't.
And the packs that you get they're good at the start of the cycle. They're very good at the start of the cycle, but they quickly drop off in value. The packs.
Yeah.
You just look at them at fodder. It should be something that you use to practice for FUT Champs. I think FUT Champs rewards should be a lot better. I think Rivals rewards should be not non-existent, but I think they should be maybe coin related or just not as good.
What do you think about going back to the old systems? You know, where you used to play 10 games,
seasons.
Yeah, the old play 10 games and then you either stay
get rewards,
and then get rewards instant from
I
that.
think they're doing that this year. Next year, FIFA 21.
Pardon me.
Well, if they're doing that, that's much better. I'm happy.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the same as it is now.
Exactly.
But if you go up a division, you get a reward.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can only
you can only play so many games.
So many games to get points. Yeah, it remains to be. It's easy to read these type of things, but then in actual practice when you play
so many games to get points, that's just like FUT Champs throughout the week.
Yeah.
So I'm now playing
Week
FUT
league.
Champs twice.
Yeah. It's difficult because this year as well, there has been no end of people dropping divisions to
do objectives.
to do objectives easier, which completely defeats the point of the ladder-based system. You know, the rewards either have to be much better than the objective card to make it worthwhile staying in your top tiers and that.
Yeah.
Or just make it easier, because I think EA a lot of the time forget that this is a game and that it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
Because I know some of the objective cards are very good. I think Mendy's probably been one of the top ones. In terms of for a meta team. There just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be sweaty. I don't want to go on in the week after finishing work and you think, okay, I'm just going to have a game of
FIFA used to be fun.
Yeah, I think FIFA.
I feel like it's more of a chore now.
You know, because of the big live service model that everything's gone towards. I think that's FIFA's gone to that, but they haven't kept up with. You look at the games like Destiny and Anthem and anything other that's a game as Division, games like that. Apart from Anthem aside, but I don't know what state that's in at the minute. But they've actually got they've got incredible amount of content to play through.
Yeah.
Whereas FIFA's got Rivals and Champs, which to me are the same thing to some extent. You got Squad Battles, which is boring.
Shit.
And got Draft, which is like, who cares? There's just
The Journey.
There's no. Oh yes, Alex Hunter. Go on, lad. And
I don't know if that's a thing anymore, is it?
It's not. I don't think. No, it's Volta now.
Oh God,
it's Volta, baby.
I
think it was just. It's been one of those years where there's just so many things wrong with the game, and they've just not changed enough. Like, if they brought in a load of new game modes, the fact they take away game modes and don't replace them, like tournaments, they took them away.
Yeah, I was just about to mention tournaments.
Just why?
The World Cup modes, when they've come out, they're some of my favourite bits of FIFA.
Fun.
Just things like that. Surely you could do something like. Do you know how the Champions League would turned out the way it did this year? Surely you could have done something from that, or I don't know, just something that's different.
They did, Sam. They brought out cards that are blue.
No, I mean an actual game mode or something. Just to give me something new to grind, basically, and not feel like I'm cheese grating my face. I think one of the things that they miss out on a lot. When you think back to, I can't remember what FIFA this was on. This is going back a bit now. But, there'd be like, I can't remember what it was called, but there was like scenarios, and you'd be like... Oh, so you like one of the objectives is like, you're 3-0 down, you've got to come back and win. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that on Madden.
I can't remember if they're bringing it back next
year
or something.
Yeah.
Is that FIFA 14 that was on?
I don't know, it's a while ago now. But stuff like that, it's just something different.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough things in this game at the minute that are different.
Yeah, I think it's part of Kickoff next year, though, not Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
But they do it on Madden Ultimate Team. It's called.
I don't understand why they don't do it. Or just things that are just interesting, and like for that, say, I don't know, you're Aston Villa and you're 2-0 down or something, you complete the objective, you get Grealish. That you can, and then, in a few weeks, say Aston Villa again, and you can upgrade your Grealish. Something like that.
That's literally what they're doing, Madden.
Like, I don't understand.
They're part of the same company. Surely they could do it.
But basically, we need more game modes. Give us a reason to play that's not sweaty. Because, like I was saying, going back to my original point, all these games of service is forced EA. Well, it's not forced them, actually. They've taken advantage of it in that they can just have this kind of like trickle system, of content over the year. But their content is cards. They don't see it as game modes or anything. You look at Destiny, they bring out different missions, different planets, different quests, different game modes.
They just bring out packs.
They just bring out packs and cards, and that's it. There's nothing else to them.
Yeah,
apart from that. And if they've had this pathetic excuse for a season objective milestone thing. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic.
Sure, you could do like Carnival and stuff like that.
No, mate, I don't like it. I think it's shocking. I think that it's just a huge missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity.
When they do like Carnival and like Festival of the Summer, whatever they do, like they could put like a foot vaulter in. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just like for a few weeks or something.
Yeah. Just mini game modes like that throughout the year. It'd be cool.
Yeah, and then you could get a special
reward from that.
Because they should still reward you with a card. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's cool when you get a good card, and I get excited when I see a good card in a promo because you can use it.
It's just changing the way you get to the card, isn't it? So that there's something different.
Just make it a bit more interesting. Yeah. Like, maybe obviously keep all your money makers as in packs, and that. I'm not that stupid. They're never going to make an Mbappe in objectives or something, but. Kind of like your mid-tier cards that you wouldn't be really, you won't be buzzing if you packed them, but you'd be like, oh, okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Even if it just be fodder, it's just something to do. That's not a sweaty game mode. I think that's one thing that could really improve on.
I quite like Rob's idea a minute ago, like a 5-a-side thing or
just different game
just something to do. Yeah.
It'd be fun, like even if it's offline only, like do a co-op Volta foot. That'd be fucking sick.
Or try and make. When you're doing the training, when you're doing like skill games and stuff, you've got to get so many.
Yeah, take your foot players into skill
passes,
games.
So many correct passes or something.
Yeah.
And you get, I don't know, you get a pack or something. Just stuff
that.
That
actually really good to be able to take your new team into skill games or take your striker into skill games and test how they are.
Would you like?
Why isn't that a thing? That can't be hard to implement. That's like good to me.
It's even in the loading screens, isn't it? Like the. When it glitches
sometimes,
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Would you like to be able to do you know how you get a starter team at the start?
Yeah.
If they gave you one player at the start and you could choose their position,
you could upgrade
where you could you could do skill games to keep them upgraded.
They start off as like a 75 or something, and you upgrade them by playing so many games or whatever. They did.
Golden Bear had a tweet about that. You pick a player and then at the promos that come throughout the year they get upgraded, which I think could be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Or the other thing was literally every week there's a set of training objectives, and how well you do in the training objectives defines how much of an upgrade they get. So
it'd be cool.
Me and you could have the same player, but if I did better at the skill games, my player would end up slightly better than yours. Well,
they're doing that thing, aren't they, where it's like their stats get upgraded if they do something in real life or something. Basically,
to me, that's just like like what informs used to be. Years back when they actually used to, they didn't follow that formula that they go by now. Because that's the thing. That's all they do for informs now. They have one. I can't remember how it works exactly, but there's one formula that they apply to the card. It upgrades everything to some extent, but it's not. I can understand why they can't do it. Well, I don't know if.
But I think
they should do it to every card.
Some stats are so menial though that it won't really make a difference. To be honest, I don't think.
No, I know what you mean. It's like they were. I think the example was Trent scoring a free kick or something.
Oh yeah, my right back's got 6 free kicks.
Your midfielder's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to upgrade it massively to make it worthwhile.
Like you don't score free kicks that often.
And you're not going to. Like you're not going to want your right back out of position, are you?
No.
You know what I mean? I think there's just been too many things that
stupid.
I'll reserve my judgment for now, but
what if someone misses a sitter? Does the finishing go down?
They'd be like It was a Hungarian player. Remember, he got a downgrade in FIFA 12. I think it was. One of the only downgrades that year.
That's brutal, that isn't it? Imagine that. You're doing bad in your career, and then you come back home and you see your car's just been downgraded.
Your son's playing FIFA. Daddy, you've been downgraded.
You were a 67 earlier, and now you're a 62.
I'm going to discard you.
Just chuck yourself off the balcony.
But moving on, similar to what we were saying about things to grind towards and things to play, reason to play, sorry, is that, the milestones is you would score 2 goals with a player from every club in the league to get that
stress.
Like, no, that's rubbish. It
was alright when you didn't have to win. Now you had to win, they fucking
Yeah, everything is win.
Even before, man, I just don't like anything about that. And especially when you add in the fact that the players were average at best.
Menial.
Yeah.
Like, even not Tonali. Who were it? Politano went into.
Hey, I loved him.
We all did him, and he was a good card, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
we outgrew him so fast.
Yeah, and I think the only reason why everyone did him was because, for once, the community was all helping each other. They were letting people score because you didn't have to win.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, that you could fly through it, and it's enjoyable. Like, just do that more.
Yeah.
But if the reason why they took away icon SBCs was to make icons more accessible. If you haven't got any coins, you've never been able to buy, or you've never been able to get a Eusebio, an R9. You've got to get a baby Ronaldinho. Cool. You couldn't have a Cruyff. There's plenty of other top tiers. You could get a baby Zidane. Nice. But you couldn't get any of the top tier icons, which there should have been a way to get every single icon.
Players were like 10 mil. I packed was it middle Cruyff or baby? I packed baby Cruyff last year.
Baby Cruyff last year, yeah.
Sold him for $1 million. This year was like 3 million.
Yeah.
Like, how was that more accessible?
It's been crazy, because if they was really wanting to make them more accessible, they should have seen this opportunity with milestones, and they should have put every single icon in there at the start of the game for the first 3 months or something.
Yeah.
They should have just been baby icons, fair enough, because there's going to be some, basically my idea was that even for players like Hullet, that obviously end game is hell, you'd have to play like 2,000 games to get him or something.
Sam's on his way.
That's what I mean, though. There would be some sweats that would do that within about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe the first 3 months or something, you just have babies.
We're edging, we're having babies. What's next?
Then the next 3 months you can get middles, and then the last next 3 or something, you'd get prime. So you think that'd be 6 months into the game, which is, it's a decent window to start getting primes and work towards them. There should have been that for every single icon. So if you wanted a specific icon, go and get him.
Yeah.
It's up to you to go and
Yeah.
play. You don't, because whereas with icon swaps, if you couldn't play in that specific, few weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
you couldn't get that icon ever again.
Yeah.
That's another thing. To me, the icons like that.
Maybe like
catalogues.
bring out a shit version of the icon, so like a 75 rated Hullet, and you got to score 500 goals with him to get like his
That'd be
baby
sick,
in his middle. That'd be good. They do that again. Something to do on Madden.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just missing out. It's so easy to come up with concepts that everyone does it apart from them. It's ridiculous.
They are stupid, mate. Like, to me, I choose to believe that the people that are making the game,
they just want people to buy packs. They don't give a shit.
That's it. Literally, that is it. I was just about to say, it's all about the fact
people that are above them.
Yeah.
The people that are above them say, no, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. That would cost us money. We just want to milk this.
Yeah.
For
Whenever something's like a glitch that is losing their money, they fucking fix it straight away. But when fucking Chance Rewards didn't come out all day, they were like, we'll do it tomorrow.
It was Ben Yedder, I think, is player of the month or something.
It was glitched.
And it wasn't glitched per se, but I think there was just an easy requirement they overlooked. It was like when there was a Kane player of the month last year or something. You could just submit a silver to him and get a 100k pack or something like that anyway.
Yeah.
But like you say, whenever there's been a problem with rewards or anything, they're like,
there was one way
have patience, FIFA fans.
It was like a CONMEBOL pack, and everyone was getting normal players out of it or something. Like, we'll look at it on Monday.
That team of the season mistake thing.
They were like, we'll look at it on Tuesday.
Yeah,
but I did it because I was hoping for a big play for the weekend league.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night, and then I waited till the following Tuesday to get the pack, and then I opened it, and I got literally the worst team of the season out of it. It was just like, why have I waited 5 days?
Sam. There's just been too many times when I suppose it does link back to content, doesn't it? In that the content should be more like, we think of content as just being SBCs.
Yeah.
But it should be way more. It should be game modes. It should be.
That's just how little we expect.
Objectives. It should be everything. It should all mesh together to make a really fun experience.
Could even be a weekend league where chemistry doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, that was cool what they did.
Like the mystery ball.
Was it FIFA 17 that they last did it? Maybe, or 18. You know, when there was a silver team, I think, weekend league or something. Or in the daily knockout, there was silvers. Why not just do that for a weekend, or like as an optional weekend league or something, or some type of? They do it in. I don't play it anymore, but they used to do it in. I think it was Clash Royale.
Yeah.
You'd just play basically, and get as many wins as you could, and then depending on how many wins you got rewards for that. That'd be so cool. You know, if you're trying to beat a load of people and you're all using silver teams, if you get, say, 10 wins, you get a 100k pack or something. 20 wins, you get an ultimate pack. You know, it doesn't have to be those exact rewards, but something to that effect, in that you feel it's just different, man. It's just so different in that you're trying to get the best finish you can, and it's different to foot champs, I suppose.
Yeah,
in a way,
that'd be definitely good. Do you know how you're saying 10 wins gets you that, 20 wins gets you that?
Yeah.
Do that, and don't put a limit on the amount of games you can play. So that if I do lose one and I'm using a silver team, I don't want to gouge my eyes out, or I don't get toxic. I can just play it and be like, oh, I lost, oh well, and then I go straight into the next one.
I'll go for another one,
and I'm not bothered. Like,
and they make it so
you reward people for putting time in over.
Yeah. Rather than how good they are. Well, to some extent, it would be how good they are, but to how. It's just so easy to come up with ideas. I've literally not even thought of that idea before. Somebody's probably thought of that before, but it goes to prove that they are just so unbelievably lazy, and they get away with it every year.
I don't even think they're lazy, bro. It literally is. If they brought these type of things out, people would get cards in different.
They'd monetize them. Yeah. That's the thing. They'd find a way to monetize them. They are not stupid. They know what they're doing.
Like. Someone worked out.
They'd find a way to make it not fun.
They made like 20 million in an hour or something once off a flash round or something.
Off the lightning round, mate. They'll make because you think about not so much on Xbox anymore, but on PS, the lightning rounds at Team of the Year and that they disappear. They just flat. They are, like you say, Sam. They are flash rounds.
Sorry, I got the name wrong. Sorry.
But I think one of the big things that they could do is just make it more fun, make the game more fun. It's not difficult. The content that they could bring to make it more entertaining for people is not difficult. Like we say, there's so many different.
There's just so much. There's just it's ridiculous how much they could do, and how easy and how easy it would be to do. That it's just at this point I'm just. This FIFA this FIFA has defeated us. Like, when was the last time you played a weekend league?
It was 2 weeks ago.
I mean, mine was
and
well
I got
over
to
a month ago.
Silver 3, I think.
I'm trying to think when I actually played.
And it's because I'd bought Neymar, and I was like, okay, I'll just get a few.
To try
I just play him. Yeah, just try him.
And that again, that's just more of a content thing than it was a.
Yeah, there was nothing to use him because I didn't want to play Rivals because
it's Rivals.
Because that's the thing. I've been in Division 1. It's not even a flex. It's not difficult to get into Division 1. But I've been in Division 1 the entire year, and I have never. Maybe actually a few times I've had an easy game, but it's very rare that I'm like, oh, sick. You know?
You're just gonna sweat. You're just gonna sit there and sweat against another sweat.
The amount. That's the thing. You come up against a lot of pros, and it's. I don't care. Like, to some extent, yes, it's fun when you have a really tight game with a pro.
But sometimes you want to slap someone up 5-0.
But yeah, I don't think it's specifically. it's a difficult balance to get, I think, because somebody has got to lose. You know what I mean? But
it's just
they just need to get the balance
it's
better,
not even that,
and they need to make losing more fun.
So that's what it's more about. Is if you're in Division 1 and the games are hard, which they should be, it's about making them games fun. Not the 1-0 situation that you get with 3 shots each, 1 on target for the winner. Like, who wants to play that? You play FIFA because you want to do some skill runs,
score goals,
and score some mad goals that you couldn't ever do in real life. Like,
you think, you think back to the years that have gone by and the overpowered shooting, and it was actually fun. You know, like scoring a time finesse.
Bring it back.
Cheese,
at the time, we were like, "Is this good or not? Bring it back. If this is the alternative, bring it back."
Because that's the thing, that you could counter it. Just move your keeper, bro. It's not
or
difficult.
Just your defender at a certain angle to block the shot, wasn't it? Like, and that's where the skill came into it then, because you could be like, "Oh, these shots are just fake," but then the skill in defending was actually knowing the angles.
It's fun. I think like scoring crazy goals is fun. Even conceding crazy goals to some extent, you're like, wow, okay.
Like
when
you scored a kickoff goal against me earlier, they'll probably see it in the clips, and
it was a good goal.
And I was just like, fair enough.
We just laughed about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, is that it don't matter really. I mean, end of the day, it's just bragging rights between mates. But even if you if it's not champs or something, it doesn't matter really. You know, if we, like you said, just let us play as many times as we want and try and do as well as we can. Yeah.
Because that's still,
and then it doesn't matter.
It still requires skill, doesn't it? Because if you say you've got to get to 50 wins within this weekend, some people won't be able to do that.
Got to put
you've got to not just put time in. You've actually got to win more than you lose to be able to get that many wins.
Yeah.
So the better players would still benefit, but it just takes away that pressure and that toxicity that comes with the limited games of champs. And I mean, I do love champs, don't take it away, but just add something in during the week that's a bit more relaxed and enjoyable for me to warm up for.
Mate.
Like, that's 100%. It, isn't it? Like,
there's just overall, it's easy changes that they could make. I think. Like, I don't think it's got to be a difficult change that they implement. I think if they brought out a few of these changes a year, I think we'd see a much better game. It's just beyond like my understanding as to why they don't make more changes. Well, actually, it's not. It's because they want to advertise it the next years, don't they?
It's just money as well. It literally all comes back to the money. They want people buying them FIFA points.
It is annoying that I know. Obviously, I'm not stupid. I know it comes back to money, but it'd be refreshing to see them do something
to get the community back.
Goodness for the community.
Like, just to get us back on their side a bit after.
Just good vibes, mate.
Think of all the YouTubers that we've watched this year. The amount of them we've seen lose their heads compared to normal. Like, we're big fans of Run the Foot Market, aren't we? Like, and he got to the point where he was playing Call of Duty and PES with people, like famous people. Like,
it's just there's so many things that they could do to get the community on side, but it's just like to us, it appears like they just don't want to. That's the difficult thing with stuff like this, is that I understand there's a lot of moving parts and there's different teams that've got to sign off on whatever, but there's never any transparency between. I know it's because it's a big company. EA is probably the biggest gaming company out there, really, in terms of publishers, but there's no transparency. You never hear anything from the developer team, really. You know, you get some little puppet that comes out every year at the start of the game that says, "Oh, here's a new feature that we're doing."
It's always one of the same features. You think,
though. All right, nameless drone number 2.
Like, it's always something to do with the dribbling and the attacking, and for some like,
who cares really?
Something. I don't know.
The way they talk about stuff, like they chat shit like about the dribbling and stuff like that. They go, "Oh, it's all this new stuff," but like when you play it, it's just gonna be the same old shit. Yeah.
The only thing that I think certainly changes from year to year is just the way that you score.
Yeah.
and
the meta, yeah. Low driven. What's it going to be?
Like, don't get me wrong, yeah, it's going to be the meta's in every game and that, but like the new features rarely make a difference. And in fairness, I do think controlling the runs of the players, I do think that could be interesting. I think that'll change the game. Yeah. Well, at least I hope it will.
Could
anyway,
be some more intelligent attacks and stuff like that, which would be cool.
Because I remember there was a post. This is going back a few months now, but it was on FIFA Reddit, and it was looking at the minimap, the radar, and comparing FIFA 17, I think it was, the movement of players to now. And now they were static. They were completely static. Whereas FIFA 17, it was looking as though like it was real football. And for all the shit that they do to make out that this is more like a real football game,
it's not.
It just gets more dumb.
They're just so out of touch with their community as well.
Well,
we were just saying that there's so many things that they could do to get more goodwill, and they just choose not to. I think one big thing, not a big thing, but when they say you've logged into Foot for 570 days in a row, have a premium gold pack. Just do that way more often. It should be, if you've been on Foot every single day of the week, or like for 2 weeks in a row or something, just give you a good pack, like a good.
I feel like they don't take fan feedback into account like other games do as well.
I don't know. I was just about to say something about that.
There's a lot of.
I feel like they only listen to the moaners.
No, I don't think they do.
Like,
I don't think they listen to anyone.
Because there's certain things that get fixed that, like, do you know when the start of the game comes out? I think the
patch,
the first patch.
The first patch completely changed this game. I feel like we were all quite enjoying this game when it first came out.
Yeah,
but then they don't. The funny thing is that then they don't listen.
They do it once.
And then they're like, well, shut up shop, lads. It's time to go.
See you next year.
We got it wrong. Sorry.
You joke, but I'd love to know the actual behind the scenes, as if it is a different team that do content. It probably is a different team that do the content, the live content, because I know it is. It was for Destiny back in the day.
Yeah.
That did the live content team, and then there was the development team.
The graphic design men are all in the bloody high-rise building.
Yeah, bro.
They're the kings of FIFA 20.
The graphic design team, they
earned their money this year.
They should do.
Water.
Yeah, and they're probably getting paid the least, but they should. That is probably the only thing.
The graphic design team are living on scraps. And then Yoshir Koreshi comes in and goes, "Ultimate packs!" And they all go, "Give him a raise!"
Give him a raise.
You're a genius.
I think that's probably about a good time to wrap up, really.
I'd ask you both one question before we wrap up. If for one thing that you really want to see change next year, like just one thing, what would it be?
Okay. I think next year it's not going to change, obviously, but in a dream scenario, it'd be more ways to play, and more reasons to play.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Okay, whilst Rob has a meltdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all my no. I'm gonna put Ultimate Team, right? Ultimate Team, no matter what, it grabs you. With the shit we speak about, it is addictive, and we do play it. I'm gonna go out, and Sam's gonna want to bloody kiss me after this. I'm gonna say pro clubs.
Let's
put
go!
Some effort into it.
Let's go!
Put some effort into it and make it a fucking good game mode.
Yeah.
The reason people play is because it's fun with your mates. If they put some effort into it, like they do Ultimate Team, it'd be genuinely good, and people would play it so much. I believe.
Us as a three, we would sling so much money at that game mode if it was like Ultimate Team.
You know what FIFA should do? There should be career mode, because that's obviously a completely separate entity, and then there should just be like Ultimate Team, and then I don't know how it'd work in my head. I've just thought of it off the top of my head, but if everything was linked into Ultimate Team,
clubs,
and it was a really social experience,
could be a part of Ultimate Team, and then it could be 5 players from each of your teams, or a certain amount of players from each of your teams.
Maybe not that.
No, I do like the customization of it, though.
They do what they're going to do next year. You customise your own stuff, but then you can put your coins into
that'd be cool.
Like you can all pull your coins together and stuff.
That's a good idea.
What they could do, another thing that I think would be sick. They won't do it because it's Peggy 3, but it's Peggy 18.
Well, is it?
Well, it remains to be seen,
on my email, I got an email from EA. Yeah.
It's just because I think that's just because it's an EA email. That's a hard
EA
thing
email.
to say quickly. Yeah. But you know, if you could, like, obviously saying that it's betting. If you could bet on games with coins and stuff, I think
so
stuff
what?
Like get me to casino.
The matchup screen.
As if it wasn't gambling
you
enough.
could put like 2,000 coins down against the guy. That's actually a sick idea. The toxicity goes so high, but yeah.
It would never happen. But I think it'd just be.
Oh my god!
It'd be fun because I think, you know, like when we go to. Not that we do this often. This sounds
the
weird
GTA
now,
casino.
But when we go to GTA casino, we have a good time.
It's that place.
Go and play blackjack. We have a good time. But stuff like. Just things that you can play with your mates, make it a lot more social. Yeah. I think that's one big thing.
This year's been the worst year for pro clubs. I'm going to say it now. It's terrible.
Do you know one of the worst things about this year's pro clubs? No, the celebrations. I want to zoom in on my dude's face.
I want to see my ugly ass dude. You don't even see the cinematic of you lifting the trophy after you've slogged 10 games to win Division 2 or whatever. No, I want to see my boys fucking lifting that thing.
Getting high.
I want to see Just Beans raising the trophy.
You're ruining it, man. You're ruining it.
What would your change be, Sam? Or an addition or whatever?
My thing would be, do you know, there's the past few FIFAs, there's the meta players everyone has. Once you get to like Division 3 and upwards, everyone's got pretty much like very similar teams. I just want more players to be usable.
Yeah,
more diverse.
And just, me and Jack spoke about that on our FIFA 21 Q&A.
Yeah, like just want more players to use.
Well, it's like we talk about how there's only one way to score this year. If you could head the ball really well, if you could pass the ball around,
it's just not realistic.
Yeah, it's not a realistic football simulator. That's the thing, though. It's like it shouldn't be, but they want
it's like
it.
Giroud.
Yeah.
In real life, he actually can score a goal.
Class.
On the game,
he's one of the best strikers in the world, mate.
On the game, useless. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got them heading stats and everything like that.
Like Lewandowski. Yeah. I'd say Lewandowski more than Giroud.
Well, yeah, okay, Lewandowski.
Yeah.
He's got those finishing stats and stuff, but because the way the meta is, you just can't use them. Like,
not fast. Less than 90 pace rather.
Yeah, basically. Like, I just want it to be where players can actually play the way they play in real life. Like Toni Kroos and some of the best passers in the world. Yeah, he can't sprint around like an absolute demon, but he can pick out a pass that somebody else can't. And
well, they're meant to be doing that more on FIFA 21. To be fair,
we'll save that for another one. This has gone on quite long.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed our thoughts. If you managed to get this long, I know nobody will have done, but if you have,
leave a comment saying Jack is a simp.
Ooh.
I endorse that. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
See you later, guys.